Hello Ed and hello YouTube. This is my response for Top 3 Tuesday this week. Um, and Ed's question this week was, what are the top 3 games that consumed you or, used a lot of your time, you couldn't stop playing until you beat it type thing? And thanks everybody for coming and watching this video, especially people that are new to my channel. I appreciate you coming and checking out. Okay, I have picked out 3 games. It was kind of easy for me. The third place was kind of hard to decide. But for my third pick, I decided to pick Super Mario 64. This game was one of the main reasons that I became a gamer, actually. I had a PlayStation. That was kind of the first big new system that I ever bought. But I never owned a Nintendo 64 until much later in life. And my cousin owned a Nintendo 64, and I would go over there all the time and play Super Mario 64 and Wave Race. Those are the only 2 games I ever played. But Super Mario 64, it definitely consumed me. I had to find the strategy guide for it. I mean, I didn't even own the game, but I felt like I put so many hours into it at her house that it was just all I ever wanted to do was go over to their house and play Super Mario 64. And then a few years after that, a neighbor actually got a Nintendo 64 as it was kind of on its way out. It was kind of older at that point, and I remember just going over there, and that's all I wanted to do again. It recaptured me, and I just wanted to go beat Super Mario 64 and get all the stars. And then when I got a Nintendo 64, it's the same thing. I had to rebeat the game again. That is probably one of the number 1 game that I've beaten more than any other. I've beaten it many times. So that's my number 3 pick. Number 2 is a multiplayer game, and it's Super Smash Bros. Melee. And I picked this game because, for one, it consumed my high school years so much. We would have these parties, and we would go and play Halo, and we would play Super Smash Bros. But Super Smash Bros. Is the one that I felt like that's the one I always wanted to play. It's like, oh, come on, everybody bring your GameCubes over. Bring some controllers, and everyone had their own, character they wanted to use. And it was like you would go and you'd just play for hours and hours, match over match, and then you'd make up your own type of matches. And it seems like that's all we ever did was, play multiplayer on this, and I loved every minute of it. And I beat the campaign, or not really campaign, but the mode they have on there. And then it's like the home run thing where you had to hit the bag. It's like you'd play with every character and try to get as high as scores as you could, and then you'd go and do the obstacle course where you had to bust the targets. Or at least that's what I did, and I'm not saying you guys, but I mean, I beat every aspect of this game, tried to get the highest score on each target buster, on each of the home run derby thing. I mean, every single character I would try to get as high as I could with them, and then, master each character when it came to co-op play, because you wanted to be good with every character, because at least we're, around here, my friends would be like, oh, if you're only good with this one, it doesn't count. So you'd say, oh, you can't beat me with Jigglypuff, and then you'd have to play as Jigglypuff. So I spent so many hours at this game trying to get good at every single character. So that is my number 2 for this week. My number 1 pick, I do not actually own the game anymore. It is a PC game, and it is World of Warcraft. And no doubt this is probably a lot of people in the world's number 1 most consumptive game. I played this so much. I actually got into it after, or just before the original expansion came out for it, and that was when the cap was 60, and I got a max character, and then after you got the max character, not only did I put so many hours getting to that character, then I had a separate character that I played, a tune. And then I also got into a guild, and we did guild runs all the time, and it became so consumptive. It's actually why I had to get rid of it. I quit playing it for a little while, and then I did get back into it for a little bit, but it was so much work. Like when I was in a guild, it was like every Monday night they wanted you to run a certain instance or dungeon, and then every Wednesday they wanted you to do something. So it's like they had it scheduled out, where it's pretty much every day of the week you had to get on, or you became out of the loop. So it was a game that I played so much, like, it's kind of scary to think how many hours I put into this game. I remember one time you could check your stats, and it said that I had played, for a week, which, I mean, it's so much time. You think about it, it's like a whole week of my life. If I would have sat down and just played World of Warcraft, it would have lasted an entire week. So I mean, ideas like that, and it became much greater than that, I'm sure. But that's just the stat that I remember seeing. So definitely, my number one has got to be World of Warcraft because I could not stop playing it. It's such an addictive game. I know a lot of people actually drop out of college for it. So those have been my three picks. I'm tired of rambling on, but again, thanks Ed for hosting the Top 3 Tuesday. And thank you all the new people that have come and all my subscribers. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead and do so already. And if you like the video, like it. Yeah, I'm rambling again. So this has been Retro Rewinder. See you